Hello, everyone. This is Vincent with the BDF Podcast. And for today's guest, we have Marie Engi Korean Choi on the podcast. And she'll be talking about how her parents play a huge influence in her life and will provide some really good nuggets she learned being a professional Muay Thai fighter and how that plays a big part in her motivation in life. And if you are inspired by today's message, please post a review on iTunes, share the podcast with your friends and family. So let's get into the podcast.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire.
And we're here at the BDF podcast here at Hawthorne, California, right? This is Hawthorne?
Torrance, California.
Torrance, California. I'm sorry. We have a few guests here. It's me and Vincent Din, aka VD. Can't hear it? No, you're good. Okay. We have Marital. And also, one of our special guests here today, Miss Marie, aka Choi?
Yes, sir.
Choi. What's AK stand for?
AK. It's actually a fight name that was given to me, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago by one of my first coaches in the MMA world. And AK stands for the Angry Korean. I hated it when it was given to me. I tried to change it, but my coach is like, no, you can't change a name that we want you to be called. And a little bit of history as to why it was the Angry Korean, because I remember taking my first kickboxing class, and I kind of looked to my left, and I saw some people in the ring in an octagon at a gym, and I was like, man, I kind of want to do that, but I don't know. And I remember asking the coach at the time, I was like, hey, can I get in there? And he's like, back then there were like no girls competing or really doing that kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, go ahead in there. Yeah, go ahead. And so when I went in there, I was like, oh, this is fun. And it was just me. I was like a girl and surrounded by a whole bunch of guys. And I was like punching them and going all crazy. And
Awesome.
then I guess I went a little bit too hard and I got popped, and I was like, I guess my whole demeanor changed.
Yeah.
I went from being playful to I want to kick your ass. And so
It's okay. You can say ass.
Exactly.
Awesome. So for those of you that don't know, Ms. Choi here is actually one of the operators of this UFC gym. She's actually one of the first people I knew about in UFC, women UFC. And man, I don't know. She's awesome. I know Vincent has a lot of awesome things to say about her.
Yes, I do. I remember the first time I met Marie. It was in Irvine at a MMA gym, and I was just new. I walked into the gym and I was like, man, this is intimidating. Everyone's just kicking the bags really hard. There's people in gis rolling around. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, whoa, who is that over there? Who's kicking? And I mean, Marie was just kicking the bags. It was she was being coached by Colin Yaman, and everyone was just around kicking the bags, and they're kicking the bags. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I want to come back. This my first impression there at the gym. I was like, I don't know if I want to come back. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I tried out kickboxing. I was like, it's not my thing. I do jujitsu. Let me try jujitsu. So I did jujitsu, and I keep seeing Marie, doing Muay Thai, and went to one of her fights, and then went to a couple other people's fights in the gym, and I was just, wow, she is badass. She is a beast. And so I always admired you, Marie, because I mean, dude,
Thank you.
You probably knocked me out.
Probably about most people out.
And so
She's an angry Korean here.
So I mean, I get inspired by you, and then just following you through the years in your story and everything that you've accomplished, through a lot of different, trials and different obstacles in your life. It's inspiring because most people would just break.
Yeah. And I thank the Lord every day for bringing this art into my life, because really that's what's kept me. It's my therapy. It keeps me going. Like literally, I mean, second I fall, I got to get back up and keep going. So that's everything that happens in a ring can translate to life. And that's what I try to pass on to everybody else.
Wow. That's a nugget right there. Anything that happens in a ring can translate into life. And that's what we're looking for in BDF. We're looking for those inspirational stories to share the world, because a lot of people don't know your story. A lot of people, they're afraid to venture out there and do what you did. Like, how did that like come in like fruition for you? Like, what was who was before Marie? Who was before UFC? Who was before all the fighting? Who was that person? And how did the UFC help you?
Yeah, I mean, I have people that find me on Facebook from high school, believe it or not. And it's crazy. They'll be like, "Man, Marie, like I grew up playing the violin when I was 3 years old. My parents, I'm Asian. I can say that. I literally started playing the violin when I was 3. Really succeeded in that. I was academically, I worked hard at school. I
The
graduated.
Asian smart kid.
Yeah, salutatorian of my high school, top 5%. Went to a very good school, top 5 national university. On my way to law school, I'm just very academic, studious, and to even get in a ring was not something that not only myself but my parents and people around me would even think that I would be doing. But long story short, I mean, in college, I went to the University of Chicago, graduated with honors. I'd met someone I'd never dated in high school. I was very straight edged and met a guy and fell into a really abusive relationship, not only mentally but physically. And I remember thinking, the first few times that I actually got hit, and I thought, man, this must be normal. Like this must happen all the time. So I took it. And I just remember I got to a breaking point where I got hurt really bad and the police came and all that stuff. But long story short, like in that moment I was thinking, man, I want to die. Like, I just want my life to go away. And I never want anyone to ever feel that. And I think if I had some kind of martial arts at that time or something as an outlet, I probably would have had the courage. I would have had the confidence to get out of that situation. So, but, things happen for a reason. I was able to get through all of that and come out and found, this beautiful art. I mean, it doesn't matter what art you take. I tell people, find something, BJJ, find Muay Thai, find MMA, whatever it is, make it your passion, because that's what I did. And I didn't even think I would fight. I tell people that I train, you don't have to be a fighter. I'm not telling you to be a fighter. Use this as a way to let everything that you deal with in life, your stress, this is where you have time with yourself. This is where you find yourself. And I'd gained a lot of weight. I had been 40, 50 pounds heavier during my college years. And I needed something to get me out of that depression, all that fat, all the pounds that I gained, and running wasn't doing for me because I had a hard time running a mile. I remember just feeling like, man, this sucks. I feel really like low self-esteem, and I stumbled into a gym, and at that gym I found kickboxing. It was just cardio. It was a cardio kickboxing class. Actually, prior to that, I found just a regular cardio kickboxing class. You weren't hitting bags. It was back then. It was Taibo.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how old I am.
Every woman was into Taibo at that time. I felt so afraid.
That's how old I am. I mean, so people can know how old I am. I'm from that generation. I became really good friends with the founder of Taibo, which is Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks, yeah.
And I got certified through him.
Were you on his infomercial?
I was not, but I did a couple videos with him.
What?
I did.
That is awesome. Real famous.
But yeah, so I mean, cardio kickboxing, and and then I got to a point where I was like, man, I kind of want to like hit something and know what it feels like to do an actual martial art.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a black belt in Hapkido, and from there I decided I want to try another martial art. Found Muay Thai, and from there I trained for a couple of years. And my coach at the time, Colin Oyama, he said, I had asked him, I was like, hey, I have an opportunity to do a fight in Vegas. It was for, I'm not sure if people are familiar, it was called Fight Girls, the one that Gina Carano was on, the very first show. Yeah. They wanted to do a sequel. So we did that, and I was like, hey, can I go do this fight? He was like, I don't know. He was really hesitant because I don't know if he really wanted girls competing back then. And he's like, he finally gave in. Such a great coach, such a great mentor. He he drove 4 hours there for my fight and flipped back around to do another fight somewhere in Orange County. Like
Oh my
he did that, and I
gosh.
won. It was the best feeling in
Nice.
the world. And I remember them asking me why I fight and why I wanted to do that, and I said, man, if I can be a voice for any woman out there that is going through depression, going through body image issues, or that is just in a relationship that they can't get out of, man, this is why I do it.
That's
I just got
awesome.
chills just saying that.
No, it gave me chills.
Yeah.
It really gave me chills.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, because I think it's not just only women; it's men too. Because I know a lot of people that go through depression. They go through like, man, I don't feel good about myself. No self confidence, and of course, you're like, if I have a daughter, or when I have a daughter,
Mhm.
or I would say, look, you need to hang out with Marie.
Yeah. No, really.
Yeah.
Like you're inspiring women all
Inspiring.
across the world right now.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And you're a role model. I think that's huge, being a role model
Yeah.
to a lot of girls that are growing in this age where they look at someone like, I don't know, Kylie Jenner.
Mhm.
Dude, I want to be like her, or I want, or someone else that's always in the news. But some people are not meant to be moving that direction. They're not the body type. I can't be like a LeBron James where I'm like 6'8", 240 pounds.
You're like half that.
No, I'm not even half of that. And
I think so. That's why you inspired Vincent, because you're the same size.
Ready? Octagon's right out there.
Same size.
3 rounds.
and I've been following you a lot, like over the last several years, and I what was you've been in a lot of fights. I mean, and you keep going. I know you lost some, you win some.
Mhm.
What has that taught you?
Yeah, I'm such a competitive person at nature. Like, I mean, I had a pretty strong streak in my beginning of my career. I went like 5-0, and then I suffered my first loss. It was like out of state, and I remember I don't even know how my coach dealt with me, but I was just bawling, couldn't stop crying, I couldn't breathe. I was just like, man, this is awful. But you know what? All those losses I learned. I mean, it's true. I really learned the most about myself because, if back maybe when I was like in high school or something, I'd probably been like, screw this, I won't keep going. But my parents, I have to thank them. Both of them are in heaven right now. But my parents really instilled a lot of values of keep moving forward, and I think that's why being a martial artist is such a good it just correlates with my life and everything that I've been taught growing up, not to give up, not to stop, and just to keep going. My parents instilled those values. And I remember like just something like volleyball, like all my high school friends out there would know that ninth grade I tried out for the volleyball team and I got cut, and I remember just sitting, and I didn't even make bench, and I wasn't an athletic person. And I remember coming home and my mom was like, man, it's okay, don't worry about it, you'll pick up another sport. And I picked up badminton, and of course, like that's that's a loser sport to me.
No,
No, but it's perfect for you.
Oh my gosh.
Every Asian in California
Yeah.
plays badminton.
Dude, all
I did.
Asians play
All
badminton.
come on, I was like typical Asian chick, right?
Yeah,
Doing that, played
dude.
badminton. But a part of me was just like, man, I didn't make the volleyball team.
But you made the badminton team.
I did.
That
I
wa-
won. I won like
yeah.
county, state.
Heck
my
yeah,
band-
dude. Hell yeah,
Look,
dude.
most people, badminton's a hard sport.
It is. People like all those people that cracked jokes back then. F you.
Badminton made Marie and K Choi. Yeah, they turned into a competitor.
Right? But I mean, just something like that. I got cut from volleyball, and I remember telling my mom, I'm like, I am going to make that team next year. I don't care what it takes. And she's like, all right. She signed me up for private lessons every day for like two times out of the week for an entire year before the following volleyball season. And I remember coming back, and those same girls that were starters all looked at me, and I remember hearing them going, God, why is she here again? Like, what is she doing? And like, she didn't even make the team last year. And
Dude, girls can be mean.
they were mean. All those girls that
Being
put
girls.
spitballs in my hair. F you too.
I dare you to come down to the UFC gym.
Right? right? But I mean, I remember walking up to the board and I saw my name and I was a starter, and
Nice.
it was just like the most amazing feeling. And I think from then on, it's just something that's still with me, and I think that's I have to thank my parents for that. I know I got a little off tangent, but
No, that's
no.
awesome.
yeah, so I mean, you just keep going. When you're in that ring, you know that like someone's trying to go after you. It's you and that person. But I love competing. You know, I find out about so much about myself every time I step foot in that ring. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, really, I want to win, but at the same time, it's not all about winning. You know, life. You know, you're gonna take some hits, and you got to keep going. And it really tells a lot about how strong you are as a person, because both my parents, they passed from cancer, and they are the true fighters, you know, like they
Yes.
kept going. They know that they have kids, and you know, they want to be there, and they fought until their very last breath. So for me to get in a ring, get punched in the face, that's nothing. You know, they're fighting for their lives, you know. So anyone that's out there that wants to compete, do it. I mean, who cares? Just have fun. That's the fun thing about it. Just have fun and do it, and you'll learn something that no one can ever teach you in a textbook.
And how has competing? How does Muay Thai help you deal with your parents' death? Because that's something that some people can't handle.
Yeah, it was hard. That was it was my outlet. It was my therapy while my mom was sick. And I tell this story to a lot of my clients that I have now is they come in here and they're like, I want to lose weight, and oh, I don't know if I can do that. But first things first, whatever you say out of your tongue, out of your mouth is the truth. So if you're going to say that, then it is going to be true. You're not going to lose the weight. You're not going to be able to do something that's out of your realm. So you got to be able to tell yourself, you know what, I can try it. Let me try something different. And that's the whole motto of UFC Gym, is train different. You come into this facility and you're going to try something and get out of your comfort zone. And people love it. And I tell them, you know, like my mom, her doctor, I remember the phone call to this day. He called and he's like, you know, Marie, you need to come back out here. And she was living on the East Coast at the time. I was here on the West Coast. And she's like, you need to come out here. Your mom has a month to live. And I didn't say anything, and I was like, what? He's like, you have to come out here. And I came out there, and he's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do. And I basically said, fuck you. Like, I don't curse that much, but I said that to the doctor, and I think he was shocked. And I'm like, you don't have a right, you can't judge or tell people what their destiny is. So I told my mom that night, I'm like, you're moving out with me. I don't care. Like, I'm not giving up on you. I'm not going to listen to this doctor. We secured a really good team of doctors, Western and Eastern medicine. I had her on literally a workout regimen. I was like, you're gonna like hit mitts with me for a little bit, even if it's for 5 minutes. She was like, this is so fun. And we walked around the block. I mean, she was like, it took her out of that like facade, like thinking it's all fighting. It's not. It's like you're moving your body, you're having fun, you don't even realize you're burning calories. And after we started changing her diet slowly, it's a lot of it's food, stress, and just working out. That's it. She lived like another 2 years.
Wow.
2
Cross
years.
that, doctor.
Yeah. So I mean, everything that people tell you and they say you can't do it, prove them wrong.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Is that also another inspiration, proving people wrong?
It can be, yeah. You know, I kind of like all those people that would make fun of me in high school. That drives me. For some people, it doesn't drive them, but for me, it's like I feel like, you know, I've been placed in many challenging situations. You know, my sister's handicapped, and I remember growing up and dealing with that, like, you know, people making fun of her, and I having to stand up for her all the time. So I think it's a lot of it's like who you surround yourself with. You know, my dad used to say, if you hang out with losers, you're going to be a loser.
Yep.
You know, so
Association.
yeah, it's your association, who you hang out with. So yeah, it's weird, but you know, a lot of things that I say and tell people is stuff that my parents told me, and literally that's why I know they're still with me. So don't hang out with losers. Hang out with people that have passion, they have drive, that they keep wanting to move forward, and you'll see your life turn around. Like if you start hanging out with people that, you know, are successful, you will become successful too.
Wow. And some of the clients you coach. I mean, I came here a little early. I saw this little adorable girl you're coaching in the ring in the octagon. And how old is she?
She's 7 years old.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Can you imagine like being able to instill those values in your kids at that young of an age? Like I started so late in life, and I wish I could turn back time, just to have that at 7 years old. I mean, what better time to teach your kids about discipline, respect, focus, all that stuff at that age.
So
Yeah.
that's what you do here. Also, you have a class for kids for.
We do. We have something for everybody, all ages, all skill levels, all backgrounds. Doesn't matter. I mean, we've got 10,000 members here at the UFC gym in Torrance. Close to 170 classes a week. There's something for everybody here. A full kids program, everything from Taekwondo, BJJ, Muay Thai, wrestling. We've got a really popular daily ultimate training class, which is like a high intensity interval workout that anybody can do. Anyone can do these classes. And there's no I'm not going to brag on fight gyms because I love fight gyms because they push me to that next limit. But here we've got high caliber fighters that are teaching our classes that know how to push our members. And these are classes that anybody can take. And there's no that person's not that as good, or everybody's very helpful. It's a family environment. That's what drew me to this gym. It's got that family feel, but in a 30,000 square foot facility.
Yeah, this place is huge, guys.
And it seems like it's very it's not in what's the word? It's not intimidating.
It's not.
I was picturing UFC, a bunch of like half naked buff guys.
Yeah.
Just kicking and punching and screaming like
Yeah.
The typical stereotype. Unfortunately, the people that don't understand the culture of mixed martial arts, they think it's just a bunch of guys punching each other
Exactly.
and wanting to just hurt each other.
Right.
Where it's a discipline, it's an art.
Right.
Like a lot of these arts, like I know where there's the Muay Thai, a lot of these great self defense comes from Asia,
Right.
and then BJJ in Brazil, they came up with the style, but it's self defense.
Japan.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful art.
Yeah.
And or if you don't want to do any of that, you could just run on the treadmill.
Right. We
Do
have
your own
everything
thing.
that all the other, big box gyms have, but in addition to that, we have classes that involve the MMA discipline. And most of our clients, they don't want to fight. They just want to train like a fighter,
Yeah.
get a good workout, and have
Yeah.
fun. And that's what it's all about here. People have fun here. They laugh. They have a good time. And I mean, it's awesome. If you've never stepped foot in a UFC gym, do it. You can swing by here. I'm here almost all the time, and you'll love it.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
and earlier we asked you about the price.
Mhm.
At this, I think you said $79.
Yeah, I believe it's around $80 a month, give or take. There's different
There's
fees,
always
but
promos and whatnot.
yeah, and I'm sure they can work something out. But it's crazy because 10 years ago when I started training in the martial arts, I remember I had a boxing coach, I had a Muay Thai coach, I trained BJJ somewhere else, and I was literally traveling from one city to the next, and I didn't even have a hybrid car back then. So, I mean, I was putting in gas mileage, and I was putting in the tuition fees for each of those separate gyms. I mean, it was like almost 2 car payments. So it's like when
Jeez.
people come in here and they're like, "What?" It's crazy. I'm like, yeah, you get all of that under one roof,
Yeah,
and you can
It's
get
ridiculous.
one-stop shop.
one-stop shop, and you're in and you're out and you're done. And some people stay here all day.
Yeah.
It's
And a
crazy.
place for the kids.
And a place
Yeah.
for kids. If your kids aren't even in training, we've got a full kids club where they can just drop the kids off while you go get a good workout. So
That's
I mean,
so cool.
And that's
I mean-
actually where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I pay $39 a month for 24-hour fitness, and
Okay.
we have to kind of try to figure out what we want to do every day because
right.
I'm not a personal trainer, and I can't afford a personal trainer every
Mhm.
time. And the fact that you guys have these different classes, like let's say one day I want to do kickboxing,
Right.
and the next day we can do BJJ,
Right.
and the next day we could do a high intensity cardio session, and
Yep.
that is so cool, man. And for the value, it's half the price. I mean, it's not even double the price, but
Yeah.
you get 10 times the options.
Right. And this particular facility is open 24 hours.
Oh my
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
24
go bring
hours,
some
24/7.
applications.
Oh my god.
And what's
do I
even
sign?
cooler is like people that want to watch well, at least for me, because I don't have a TV at home, but if you want to watch
Smart.
pay per view.
That's a nugget right there. We didn't talk
Well,
about that after.
I used to work in the TV industry, so
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I was always in front of a TV. But UFC fight nights, any of the pay per views, we show them here. We have fight nights,
What?
totally free.
Wow.
You can,
Free for
they have-
members.
You do
yeah,
parties
free for
with your
members,
members.
correct? And I think it's like $10 for a guest, which
It's a
is
smart
nothing.
way to like cross recruit their friends.
Of course,
Yes.
and all
Join
the
the
screens,
family.
right? All the TV screens have the fights showing, and it's awesome.
At a big
Yeah.
fight, night, it's like this
Yeah.
place is crazy, right?
The energy.
It is, yeah, the
is like,
energy, and everyone's, yeah,
and everybody's like hitting the bag, right?
You know,
yeah.
I was telling Vincent earlier when we walked in, the music, it was so
Yeah.
cool. Do you guys have like a UFC music thing going on, or
There's a UFC gym radio channel, and they just play like high intensity, like cardio music that isn't going to make you like bored or like
Yeah.
and it keeps you. It's always keeps you up. Like want to work out and hit a bag.
is that only available in the gym, or can you go like on Sirius satellite, or how do you?
You
there
know,
a
I think
Pandora
there is.
station?
I think there is a series. Don't quote me on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because,
yeah.
but
That's
I believe
cool.
there is one. It's a
'Cause
UFC gym radio.
While we
yeah.
were waiting for you to finish
Yeah.
your session, I was like, man, this music just makes
Yeah.
me want to like go
yeah,
run.
yeah. It's like you're in a
It's
club
hype,
almost.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like bounce around. And,
Because sometimes 24 Hour Fitness has some really bad music, like
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
unlike motivating music.
yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like train different. Here it's different. We're not one of those gyms out there. We're different, and you'll learn something. It's not just like getting on a treadmill and just running. You're actually learning. I tell especially my female clients, I'm like, not only are you getting into the best shape of your life and burning calories, you're actually learning how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you don't have to use it, but at least you learn self-defense and you gain that confidence so that you don't get into some awful situation.
You'd rather have it and not need it than need it to not have it.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
do you still train to compete yourself?
I
or-
do.
Okay,
I'm actually
cool. Tell us about that.
fighting. If everything works out, it should be March 19th here at Inglewood, in Inglewood at Hollywood Park.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it-
Who's who you're fighting?
I think the opponent to be named by the end
It's
of
still
this
in the-
month.
it's
yeah,
in, like,
yeah,
works.
it's
in
in the
works.
works.
All
but
right,
yeah,
all
it
right.
looks like so. I've been training. I had all my pumpkin pie, cheesecakes, and ham and everything for
The
the
holiday
holidays.
foods.
Yeah, I had all my
It's
holiday
crunch
food.
time.
So it's now I'm starting to get back into eating clean and training, and yeah, and that's the best part. I mean, I seriously every day I thank the Lord for having this job because it's I can come into work in shorts and a shirt, and I get to work out in my free time. I get to help people achieve their goals. I get to instill values into kids. I mean, this is like the best job on the planet.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time.
Not
It's like-
everybody changes lives for a living.
yeah, and I think I was missing that for a long time, and that's why I got back into this industry because I felt like there was something missing, like purpose. You need purpose in life
Yes.
in order to
That's
be
amazing.
alive. And that's
Yeah.
what something my parents always said. You got to have that purpose.
You wake up every
drives
day.
You? Like what motivates Marie to wake up every day and want to be here?
Yeah, you know what? It's definitely my parents and myself. Like I have to. There's some days I don't think there's been one day where I'm like, man, I gotta go to work. It's just I think about like the smile on the kid's face when I'm like, playing around with them, or I think about at the end of a workout, my clients like, wow, that was awesome. Like now I can start my day, or thank you. I was just having a really shitty time at home. I'm getting all this stuff and I'm dealing with crap, but I come here to let all that stuff go. So to hear that, that's fulfilling, like for me. And I love helping people. And if I can add a day of life to someone, that's, you can't put a price tag on that. Cause I would kill for my parents to be here, like one extra day with them. But, if I can just give that day to somebody else, man,
Wow.
that in itself is awesome.
Awesome.
I'm like speechless, man. That's- I hope to someday find that too. Discover that,
Yeah.
and being able to pay it forward and be a blessing to others,
Mhm.
because you're a living example of kind of like serving your purpose
Yeah.
every single day in your own way, because there's so many different ways to do it.
Right.
You're able to combine your passion of the martial arts and helping others, and I
Yeah.
guess s- doing right by your parents.
Yeah.
You know, they poured everything to you, and you're just trying to do the best for them and for your family because you have your siblings, and that's beautiful. It's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
thing. How can people like connect with you if they wanted to? Like, I don't. Before Vincent mentioned, I know he talked to me about you before when you were at Oyama, because there's so many other great trainers that came out of that gym and that organization. But how can people connect with you and
Sure.
to kind of, I think by curiously follow you on social media, see what you're up to, support you as you're gonna fight.
Go to your next fight.
Yeah,
do
for
all that
sure.
stuff. I would love to go. That's my birthday month. That'd be a
Yeah.
fun birthday like thing to
I want
do.
to see you kick some butt.
Oh, I will. I
You better
will. Yeah, I actually have. I'm on social media, predominantly Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook, you can just do a search in this query box, Marie, A.K. Choi, and I'll pop up. It's public, so you can see all my posts. And then Instagram is just Marie, A.K. Choi on Instagram. So I try to put stuff that I'm doing or eating or my training pics and stuff like that, but just to be able to connect with somebody else and maybe give them a little bit of positivity in their life. That's really all I want to do.
And it's so cool that you're accessible. Someone can come to this gym,
Mhm.
ask for you, and be personally mentored by you.
For sure. You can walk in and
It's
they have like
amazing.
4-day guest passes. Try out the gym. I mean, it's once you step foot in one of the classes, you're going to get hooked. I
Right.
mean, every day there's people coming in, checking it out. And, it's just get out of that boring
Right,
routine
yeah.
everybody's doing right now.
That's
Like,
beautiful.
really.
That's
There's
beautiful.
more and more UFC gyms we were talking about earlier.
It
There's
is
more
expanding.
popping up.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
expanding man, so rapidly. Like I mean, right now they're probably building. Actually, they are. Marital is opening this Saturday, so
Wow.
that's another gym. We're vastly growing in Orange County. There's a couple of gyms that'll be opening up in Huntington Beach, and it's just there's going to be one in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
If not like now, but very soon. So just check it out. I mean,
Yeah.
and if there are any questions, you can reach out to me. I respond to all my messages. I know the amount of fans that I have out there. They always comment like, "Oh, you always say something," or "You always get back to us." So I try to do that. So any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for them.
Yeah, if you're gonna check one out, come to this one first.
Yes.
Come to this one first.
I
Yeah.
went to one in Orange County, and like I mentioned, this one's just like blows that one out of the water. This one's huge.
Yeah, 30,000 square feet. I mean,
Wow.
everything that you
Yeah.
can think of is here, and the full locker rooms. We've got hanging bags, jujitsu room. We've got an octagon. I mean, and full weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting area. So, and even an arm bar where you can get your like protein shakes right after you work out. I mean,
Yep.
who has that?
That's so dope. Leave
And
your
it-
excuses at the door. Change
Right?
your life. That's cool.
And they
Yeah.
have Marie here, so come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, just to let you know a little bit of Marie's background, you're in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I am. I got inducted 2 years ago.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's
Get with the
huge.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Through my work, I do a lot of. I try to. If there's anyone out there that has a nonprofit or charity organization, that's pretty much a lot of my work. I like to give back. So I find ways, either especially like the Leukemia Lymphoma Cancer Society. I like to do that because those are the diseases that my parents passed away from, and the Special Olympics because of my sister. So and then one of my teammates, he had passed away a couple of years ago, and we started a foundation on his behalf. He worked a lot with kids. It was Shane Del Rosario.
Oh, I remember. Him.
Yeah, UFC
Yeah.
heavyweight. So
Yeah.
definitely keeping his spirit alive and working through kids and helping them. So yeah, I mean, I'm truly blessed to have those acknowledgments and recognition. But honestly, I love living life, and I love, like I might not be like some UFC fighter, but I mean, I like champion, but I love what I do, and if I can pass on something, then my work is done.
That's amazing.
And just for people to know that if you're gonna train with Marie in the UFC gym here in Torrance,
Mhm.
she has the accolades to back herself up. Because I know there's a lot of times where people will say, "Hey, look, come here and train," but then they don't have the accolades. So they've probably never been in a fight before,
Yeah,
a competition fight, of course.
right.
So just to, if you're gonna go anywhere and train, especially Muay Thai, she has the backing. She has the backing. She has the accolades. She knows what she's doing,
Mhm.
and she's been in multiple fights
Yeah.
in the ring.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I can see people. I remember one of my coaches told me, it still rings with me. It's like anybody can hit a bag. You know, like you can walk in. Literally, you can walk in off the street and put on a pair of gloves and go just throw a 1-2 punch. You know, back on the bag. But it's one thing when you have an experience like getting in an octagon or a ring and having someone come at you, or even just outside of the ring. So it's just I feel like it's just it's something that I might not be like a UFC fighter, right? But at least I know what it feels like to get punched in the face, and I would love to pass that along to somebody and just help them learn how to defend themselves. But at the same time, they're losing weight and having fun.
Yeah, and I saw that when we were walking in the door. Carla is going to be here.
Oh yeah,
And so I think that's cool with the UFC brand. You guys are able to attract a lot of the world's greatest fighters to come and do like maybe guest training. I don't know. Is there guest training sessions or more meet and greet?
yeah.
What do you guys
well,
do
for
here?
that particular event, it's just a meet and greet,
Very
and
cool.
Carla and I met actually after maybe 2 or 3 years after I started training. Or no, actually, let me get that wrong. She and I started training Muay Thai about the same time, and she was a all-American wrestler, and she had just gotten off knee surgery, and we met at Team Oyama, and there were no other girls really around, so we became our sparring partners, training partners, and she literally we would like hug each other after we punched each other in the face. We would go at it. We'd have a like shitty day and we'd come into the ring and we'd literally try to knock each other's heads off, and then right after we'd hug each other. I've watched and I've been a part of her career both professionally and personally for since I ever started, competing, and it's been such an amazing honor and just awesome to be part of that journey. And when she won the UFC strawweight championship belt, it was just like, wow, like all those years of hard work, that perseverance, just the dedication. Like I look up to her. I mean, I jokingly tell her, I look up to you, girl, but damn, you're shorter than me. She's like 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing person, both in and out of the ring. So that event, anybody can come to it. We just wanted to do something fun, kind of like girl empowerment, female
Yeah,
empowerment, but guys
that's
are going to come
huge.
too because she
Yeah,
could
of
kick
course,
some
of
guys'
course,
ass.
yeah.
You know
Have
what
you
I mean?
rolled with her before?
Yeah,
Oh my
I rolled
gosh.
with her. She's like, I can't do anything with her.
Dude.
Like she's crazy, like so strong.
Strong,
Yeah,
fast,
fast.
technical.
Yeah, very technical.
Yeah, I remember we watched that fight live. Were you there with her?
Which fight?
The first when she
won the belt? Yeah, I was
you
there.
walked-
I was sitting like
you
front
were,
row.
right?
Yeah, I was
I
sitting front
remember-
row.
We were at the Dubliner.
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, I know. I trained with both of those girls." I was like, "Oh, it's dope."
It was
Whoop
just
my ass,
awesome. Like,
That's
just to see-
amazing.
she's gonna get that belt back. So she's training hard, but right now we're gonna have her get in the
And
do a
when's
couple
that
events.
event so we can help
The
promote
event
it?
is January 23rd, this
Okay,
Saturday.
this Saturday.
So it's this
Awesome.
Saturday at 12 noon. You don't have to be a member. You can come. Just bring some cookies. I'm sure she'll like that.
Ah.
Yes,
She is the Cookie Monster.
Yes.
I'm the Angry Korean, so I'll be nice for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like Vincent said, I mean, you'll go to some gyms, not even UFC gyms, where they hold mitts and pads, and they don't have that backing. And I've had 15 fights, so and I captured the World Association of Kickboxing Organizations title 2 years ago.
The kid
So-
one, right?
Yeah. So I did that, and I'm gonna still compete as long as I can. And I'm kind of nearing my end of my career in terms of like actually fighting, getting punched in the face. But for as long as I can, I'm gonna keep going. You know,
Which one do you like? K1 kickboxing more than MMA, or which one do you prefer?
you know what, I started rolling a little bit, and I would like to do an MMA fight. That's my ultimate goal, is to get one in before. Just because it's hard though. You have to have a lot of time and commitment to be able to learn all those disciplines. I mean, I'm just doing stand up, but to add in the elements of wrestling and BJJ and even judo and like taekwondo, you've got to put in the time for all of those arts. So that's the only thing that I'm like, but I think it'll happen. I gotta find time. Right now I'm just enjoying helping other people. That's that's where I get my fulfillment from.
Right. And that's all you do for a living is you're a trainer here.
Yeah,
You're
I'm a
running
trainer
the
here, and
show
I'm
here.
I'm running the entire MMA program. I'm the first female MMA manager in the company.
That's
Wow.
amazing,
Yeah.
man. That's
Congratulations.
huge.
Yeah, they've been waiting for that moment, and it's been, with the company being still so young and it's still growing, there's many opportunities. So if there are fighters out there that are looking to do something after their career is done, why not give back into a company that maybe help them through their career, or it's just another outlet for you to give back too. So
Right.
the company is expanding rapidly, so there are going to be opportunities, and I definitely want to keep continuing to grow in the company as well. So
That's
check
powerful.
us out.
That's powerful.
Yes.
You're a product of all the great coaches you've had.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you
And
know,
parents, of course.
And your
Yeah,
parents are
definitely.
coaches, and now you're paying it forward. That's that's beautiful.
And the Lord. I mean, I wouldn't be here without His strength or His courage. Like
Yes.
I truly, whatever people's religion or their beliefs are, I stay with it. But for me, I mean, I have a lot of faith in my Lord, and He has done amazing things and given me that courage to do things that I would never think of doing.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
That is crazy.
Nugget.
Awesome.
Whoever's looking for like a inspirational or somebody like a little girl out there, what would you tell a little girl that's like having like problems and doubts right now, and
Or being bullied.
or
That's a big
being
thing
bullied?
right now.
Bullying, yeah.
Unfortunately.
What would you tell that person? What would you tell that little girl? Like, what would be like your main nugget so she can remember for the rest of her life?
actually, with the girl that I was training out there, I was like, "Man, don't you want to be the next Ronda Rousey?" And her eyes lit up. Ronda Rousey is an amazing mentor. I mean, she literally paved the way for female
Yeah,
fighters.
I think I've heard of her.
Yeah, but like to do something like that, you don't have to be like one of those like tomboys, right, to be
Yeah.
a fighter. Like, I mean, like Carla and I, we love being girly girls on the outside, and we still do that. But fighting is our outlet to be stronger, to be more confident. So these girls, like, just to be their like mentor, to be able to like just keep telling them, they can listen to a third party better than they can to their parents. Like,
Of course.
for
Yeah,
me,
right.
like, I think about
Yeah,
it,
third
right?
party.
I remember
Yes.
my coaches
Yeah.
that my high school coach changed my life. And
Yeah.
you're doing that too.
I remember my parents used to say, "You better do that, or I'm gonna tell your coach."
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell my coach. Don't tell my coach.
But I just want, I mean, for me to be that person would be great, because I even was talking to the parents, and they're like, "Man, we tell her to do that," but I'm like, "Yeah, but sometimes if it comes from a third party,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they hear it a different way, but it's the
Yeah.
same thing, they'll respond and be receptive."
Wow.
So,
Parenting.
I got to
nugget.
bring
Yeah,
my daughter
parenting,
here to
right?
meet you. And I wish I lived closer, but yeah, I'll definitely make
wait,
the
where
drive.
do you live?
Fullerton.
Oh, what are you talking about?
It was
drive-
like 15 minutes.
I
15,
still
20
I
minutes.
drive from Orange County because I love this place. Like,
Yeah.
I make the sacrifice. I was teaching, I have like 4 a.m. clients, and I'm like, man, I will wake up at that hour. As long
Wow.
as you meet me, I will
Commitment.
meet you halfway. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Dedication right there. Dedication to your clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know this is a personal question, but are you single, married, kids? What's your story?
Yeah, I'm seeing somebody right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's nothing like, in my opinion, there's nothing sexier than like you're beautiful, you're smart, you've got more balls than me. Like to have the courage to fight, because I think
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to not just like
Yeah.
hit people, but take a hit. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a long time though. I actually, a couple months ago, I thought maybe I'm not gonna settle down or be in a relationship, because I had endured a lot of heartache and
Mhm.
pain early in my life. So it's a work in progress. So I'm just taking baby steps.
Of course,
Yeah.
like everything other area
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
You've dedicated so much time to
Yeah.
fighting and
Yeah.
learning that art. Now
Yeah.
relationships the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
So
whole
that's
new
what I tell.
journey.
Yeah,
It is the
yeah.
exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have a family. That's my goal. It's like
Sure.
I don't have a family. I have my siblings, but the fact that my family's kind of it's not physically here, but spiritually it's here. And I tell my clients that too. When I teach classes, I'm like, yeah, it sounds sad. Like, you guys are my family, and I tell them, like, sometimes I almost want to like cry, but like that's why I love coming here. I think that's another reason why I am motivated to come into work, because these people that I see every day, they have become my family. So a big place like this, it's 10,000 members. Has that family feel.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm working towards having a family someday, but for now it's like I like helping people and helping them keep their families together.
Yeah.
That's important, like loyalty and commitment, all of that. Those are the tenets of martial arts. Like I have people are like, man, I just want to like give up on my relationship. Well, don't. I mean, that's why you need to you have to find ways, work with people, and that's really the martial arts way.
Right.
So
well, if you've been disciplined to learn that art, you're gonna do great. And it's exciting to see that the best is yet to come, and
right.
You're gonna be an amazing mother, be an amazing wife, and continue to be a leader in this community. That's beautiful.
Yes. And what Marie's saying is true, because martial arts has changed my life too. You guys know me. I mean, I was always upset, angry, short-tempered.
Yeah.
And
all you cared about was work, and like you didn't even date because you were just work.
Yeah, and then BJJ came in my life, and I still call my coaches professor. And I think they're my good friends now.
Yeah.
But I still call them professor. I still call them coach. It's just like that respect level.
Yeah.
And I still have that with them.
Yeah.
And so.
And you got lucky that you got to meet Jiva and like these really, really nice guys. Like before I met them, he really spoke highly of them.
Yeah.
And when I met them and saw the support system behind him at his tournaments, I saw it and I understood it. Like it is a family, and they care so much that you just succeed in BJJ, and like it's like wow, you don't find that everywhere, and the culture here in the industry is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It
I'm so glad that you invited me to meet you because I've learned a lot about your story, and it's cool to see what you've been able to do, and
super inspirational. Also.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's the power of podcasting. Is that now we're sharing your story, to the hundreds or thousands of people that hear this down the line, or they Google search you and you'll come up and they're like, oh, she did a podcast. Let me check it out. And it's free. Yeah. And they learn more about you, and hopefully, you get to impact more people that way too.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a great job. I mean, being able to give me an outlet to share my story is huge. I mean, to have this platform is just an amazing opportunity and blessing. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for taking time out on your Sunday to do this.
Thank
you. Thank you for your time.
It's been 45 minutes already, and it just feels like it's been like a short talk. But
well, life is short.
So cool.
I mean, it's only 45 minutes, but I tell all my clients, life is short. Like, tell your parents, tell your brothers, sisters, tell your people you don't even know that, thank you for being here and alive and on this earth, because you don't know what's going to happen. And you can't get back time that's already passed. So that's why you have to keep moving forward. And if you want to know what that feeling is like, jump in a class and you'll get pushed, but it'll only make you better. You will hate it. You might hate getting pushed, but it'll make you a better person.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Now, a quick question for me: like, aside from your professors and your relationship with God, have there been any like self-help books or any type of people that you kind of always looked at, like all that that you learned from outside of MMA or outside of martial arts?
I do. Yeah, I guess I read a lot of different like motivational books. Like, I know Tony Robbins has been a big one too. Like, just anything. I don't know. I like talking to different people like you guys. I mean, I learned something, just little tidbits from all of you guys. I mean, you guys are business owners, entrepreneurs. I just love hearing everyone's story. So being able to hear that is just, it makes me happy. It gives me motivation too, that you guys are doing something. I see people that, especially in the fight industry too, a lot of people like to be handed things to them. They like to be spoon fed and feel entitlement. So just changing your mindset is a big thing in order to be successful. So, I mean, I know that I could have easily dropped into a depression and just been like, F all of this, and who knows, but I have responsibilities, and I have, siblings that need to be taken care of. And then and most importantly, all the people that walk through the doors every day, they need help. That's why they come here.
Yeah.
They need some kind of, whether it's to lose weight or to deal with life in general. It's just something.
That's cool. And a quick question, I know it's personal too. Are you Korean?
Yeah,
what's
the
your
Angry
background?
Korean. Yeah,
Korean.
the Angry
So,
Korean.
I grew up in Garden Grove.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
Koreatown.
and like it's so cool. The Korean values seem to be very entrepreneur. Like,
Yeah,
you drive anywhere in LA, Orange County, and it's nothing but Korean businesses. I live in
Yeah.
Fullerton. like a mile away from this huge Korean like shopping centers and
Yeah.
restaurants. Like,
kimchi.
man, where does that
Okay.
drive come from? Like the Korean culture is like they're
I
so
think
ambitious.
They are. I think a lot of it has to do with. I think in Asian culture in general, like just coming to America and having to be immigrants and to face that language barrier. I know my parents would tell me like crazy stories, and I can't even empathize because both my parents graduated from top schools in Korea. They met each other. My mom was a nurse. She was working in a hospital. My dad was a professor slash like a reporter. That's probably where I got a lot of my interest in television and communications. And he had gone to the hospital, met my mom, and I don't know. He just when they decided they wanted to have a family, they wanted to give their kids a better life. You know, like something education. Definitely to my dad, he viewed it better here. They have an opportunity to live the American dream, and they came out here. And I remember they couldn't speak any English. They were telling me that, and they just said it's so hard. You know, that's why every penny was like so valuable to them. They came here. They both went to school. Actually, it's funny. I was telling one of my clients this morning. My mom was a nurse, wanted to be a nurse here, but she took the license and failed like 3 times just because of the language barrier. And she was just like, man, but then she got it and she started working in the hospital. She became a head nurse for her hospital, then went into management, and then unfortunately she got sick. Same thing with my dad. He got his PhD. That's why he valued education so much. Like, go to school, whatever you do, just finish school and then you can figure it out. You know,
So he finished school in Korea.
both of them, yeah.
So he finished school, top notch school in Korea, and then he went to school here and got
Yeah.
his PhD here.
Yeah, PhD, yeah,
Wow. Talk about work
from Penn
ethic.
State, yeah,
ethic.
work ethic. That's
Telling
where I
you.
get it.
This is where she gets her like
That
her work ethic,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
she's bringing the fire
Yeah.
to everything. Yeah, to
yeah.
whole life.
and you're like the perfect person to sit down with and hear the story because
Yeah.
there's so much to it. And I bet we could sit here for 3 hours and dig more.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for opening up. You know, you shared a
Yeah.
lot of your personal family, and
Yeah.
there's a lot to it.
But yeah, I mean, if it can inspire someone else, then yeah, sure, I'm willing to share that. I mean, it's just to hear my parents' story. That just, you know, like that's why I don't want to like give up, and I don't want to let them down. You know, they're not physically with us, but I know they know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So just work hard. If you're in school, finish. don't drop out of school, or if you did, go back to school. You know, it's never too late. You know. And there's something out there. We live in America. Like sometimes we forget that there are third world countries out there. And you know, I visited a couple, and when you go out there, it's eye opening. And here we have so much opportunity. You can grow, like literally, your wings can spread and grow.
You went to Thailand recently.
I did, yeah.
Nice.
How was that experience?
That was awesome. I only went for a period of time because my friend was getting married, and I always like to make time for people that are really special in my life. I'll figure out a way and I'll go. And I literally flew out there, went to the wedding, and flew right back.
Friend Yanmei, he's a fighter, right?
He actually he is the son of a really big equipment company, Fairtex, which is the largest glove
That's right.
company in Thailand. So they produce, if anyone does Muay Thai, they produce really good gloves, which I swear by. I wear them all the time, and they're durable and they feel great. But he got married to a really nice girl. She's Korean and he's Thai, so that was a perfect wedding. It was beautiful, and yeah, I just love the Thai culture. Everyone's just so down to earth, and Thailand is amazing. It's beautiful. The food is awesome. I'm a big foodie. Like that's another thing about me.
I
will go and
pictures.
yeah, I will. If you see my Instagram photos, it's like all food, training, traveling. You know, that's my life. Like I love it.
Did you get to train a little bit in Thailand?
I did at the Fairtex camp. I did a little bit. My goal is to try to get a fight out there this summer
Wow.
Nice.
or sometime in
That's
this
awesome.
year. Yeah,
Nice.
I would love like.
How different is it? Is it different, like the fighting styles or the training styles over there?
Yeah, they train like they wake up. We wake up in the morning. We run. We train. We eat. We train, and then like a little bit of sparring. Like they fight. Like those fighters fight every week. You know, like
Wow.
for us when we
Right.
think, oh, you fight every couple months, they're like fighting every single week.
That's their life.
Yeah,
Like, that's
that's
all
their
they
life.
do.
Yeah, that's all they do.
So
yeah.
were they? A lot of those guys up? They were raised to fight. Like they were brought up in camps since they were kids.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all they know is that.
Yeah,
This is what you're gonna do
exactly.
for the rest of your life.
They're fighting for money, like
Right.
they to put bread on the table, to put rice on the
And they
table.
don't get paid that much.
Yeah, and they don't get paid that much
Oh,
at all.
man.
It's like they're putting their bodies through hell.
$10 a
Right.
fight or something
Yeah,
like that.
something ridiculous.
And that's
yeah.
where like sometimes the world's best fighters come from, these third world
Oh, yeah.
countries. I mean, you got Manny Pacquiao,
Yeah.
boxer, and
Yes.
all these Thai fighters from
Yep.
Thailand
Yep.
or Japan. Even like the sumo culture. I saw some documentaries
Yep.
about that.
Exactly.
Mexico has some boxers too, and it's just Brazil. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Not as many distractions like here in America.
Right.
So many different things to do. I mean, it's full of opportunities, but so it's a different discipline from
Yeah.
the U.S.
Yeah.
deciding to enter that career field. That's why Ronda Rousey was almost like a rare story. Like this girl
Yeah.
from America. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We heard
Super cool.
stories where like there's Thai fighters, their parents raised them to be a Thai fighter, and then eventually their parents stop working and they live off the fights. These kids, they're like 14 years old, fight every week, and they
Yeah.
live off of them. Like
Yeah.
the parents live off the fighting,
Exactly.
and the kid is just fighting. He's making a
Yeah.
living
He
for the
just
whole
yeah.
family.
Exactly.
Wow.
Did traveling out there give you a different perspective in life, or of course, visiting other countries
yeah,
too?
that's what I want to do. I remember the reason why I started traveling a little bit more now is I regret. I mean, there's certain things like when your parents are sick, and my mom just said they worked so hard all their life and they didn't get to enjoy life, and she kept reiterating like, don't do that, like go see things. And I remember her asking me a couple of years ago before she was sick, she said, come out to Korea, like, I'll show you around. And that's the biggest mistake and regret that I have to this day, because that's my culture, that's where I came from, that's my family history, and I didn't go, and to this day I still regret it. So I definitely want to go back to my motherland and visit other countries. And life is short, there's so many things to see and do, and I don't want to be to leave this earth without
Right.
experiencing it.
So have you gone any other place other than Thailand? Like where have you gone so far?
Australia. I went to Australia last year
Nice.
too with Carla, and beautiful place, like just amazing,
Yeah.
like just scenery, just everything about it. Just the culture too. It's awesome. So
I heard so many things about Australia. Like I heard like somebody once said Australia is like it's like you come home, you have a girlfriend, right?
yeah,
You have a hot girlfriend, right? You come home and you meet her family and you're like, God damn, she has a hotter sister. So I heard Australia like
I've heard
Australia's
that
like
too.
America, but like
Yeah.
yeah,
people saying it's better. I don't know.
yeah,
That's what people
I've
were
never
saying.
met an Australian that wasn't nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
Every
that's
Australian I've
true.
ever met has left such a nice impression of Australians for me.
yeah, yeah.
I went like one summer. I was driving for Uber in LA, right?
Uh-huh.
And I met a ton of Australians. I was like, man, Australians are awesome.
Yeah.
And they're just like, for them, it's just like
yeah,
it's normal to be nice,
Yeah.
and friendly.
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, like I go to Mexico and like, oh man, you don't go to certain parts because they're rude. Or like I
Yeah.
get cussed at. Like I grew up
What did I do?
in Garden
What-
Grove. I'll go to a Vietnamese restaurant and like they're so mean to me.
Well, that's what we think though. They're actually
Right.
just saying hello.
It just sounds mean.
Yeah, it just comes out like
Doesn't sound
it just comes out
Every
like
time
Koreans
when we go to
are always
Vincent's house,
quiet.
It's like
no,
Koreans-
we can get pretty vicious.
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've seen. I mean, they'll start spitting at each other, and
Oh,
cursing,
Angry
and
Korean.
the angry Korean. But that's the funny part is that when you fight and you get in the ring, you never want to be angry. That's
Right.
that's the
you gotta
thing.
be-
You don't want to
Zen.
be
Yeah.
too emotional, because you'll lose focus, you'll gas, you'll get too tight, you won't be able to see things coming at you. So actually, that's the opposite, right? You want to be relaxed.
That's with life too. You can't get too angry.
Yeah.
'Cause you're gassed out.
Don't have road rage. Don't get pissed off. If someone does something, let it go. Really, life is too short.
Yeah.
You don't want to
stay
have
in the
that
center,
regret.
like pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah.
Not too angry, not too sad,
Yeah.
not too happy, just
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
All right. So, Marie, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you again for this amazing opportunity, and it
we
was a
appreciate
pleasure.
your time. I know you're extremely busy, and so we appreciate it so much. And again, how can people find you, Marie?
Sure, on Facebook, Marie, just do a search, Marie AK Choi, and then Instagram/Twitter, it would be Marie AK Choi, all one word,
And you work at the UFC gym
in Torrance.
Torrance. Okay.
Correct,
Torrance,
yeah.
Support her
California.
next
Yeah.
fight. Stay posted on social media.
Yes,
Correct.
I'm
follow
sure
her.
you'll share it. I'll be supporting and rooting for you.
Thank you.
It's in LA, so hopefully we can go.
Yeah.
We're local.
Cool. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
If you're in
For
SoCal,
sure.
go support her.
Great.
And
That's a great birthday gift.
Heck yeah, that'd be fun.
I got your birthday gift.
Oh,
And
there you go. Boom.
all the information will be in the
We'll-
show notes.
We'll put the links on for your social media. And
social
Awesome.
media and everything, and the link to the UFC gym here in Torrance as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Not
you.
a problem.
thank you.
All right.